All right, we are once again going to be playing some Clash of Steel. Today we're going to have Americans versus Germans. We are going to be playing the Clash scenario with 3 objectives, and we're going to be doing mission rules number 1, which just means the game lasts 6 rounds. This is our table. We've got our objectives. We got some new scenery, and we've got some using a bit of our 40K buildings, but they'll fit in there quite nicely. We've got some barracks and some industrial buildings. So we've got a little mix of everything. We've got some fields and forests. Nice little mix up of terrain. We finally got some decent sized walls for Clash of Steel. So going to be a fun game with some new terrain, which I always like to see something new on the table. All right, we will take you guys over to the German forces and then to the Americans. All right, here's our German force. Today we're playing 110 points, just because we wanted to throw a little bit of extra stuff on the table. So for that, the Germans have an HQ of 2 Tiger 2s, a platoon of 4 Tiger 2s, a platoon of Tiger 1s, another platoon of 4 Tiger 1s, a platoon of 4 Panthers, Panther 75s, a platoon of 4 Panzer 470s, and a unit of Pumas and pack wagons. And then we are also going to be taking the Gunnery Master for 1 point. So that is 100 points for the Germans. Tried to go with a little bit more numbers this time. What's that?
You mean 110?
Yes, 110. You are correct. Sorry. Tried to go for some numbers this time with the Germans. Probably trying to pump out some more shots, so I had to leave my faithful Yag Tigers behind this time. Okay, so we are going to go over to the Americans. All right, take me through 110 points of Americans.
They're going to be led by a T-28 with 2 T-29s, 6 Pershings, 6 Jumbos, 8 Easy-8s, 6 Chaffies, 4 Jacksons, and 4 Hellcats.
Okay, so you got 2 units of 3 Jumbos and then 2 units of 4 Easy-8s, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. All right, and the Chaffies, they have the Spearhead roll. Okay, so that'll be interesting. All right, so there's 110 points of American, and we'll see you guys after deployment. Here we are all deployed for our setup of the Clash. Got the Americans on one side and the Germans on the other. For the Germans, we've got a unit of Tiger 1s in this forest, the Pumas, the command unit of Tiger 2s, another unit of Tiger 1s, Tiger 2s in the forest, Panthers behind the wall, and then the Panzer 470s over here off to the side of this field. On the American side, we've got the Hellcats over there on the very edge, unit of Pershings in the woods, unit of Chaffies, followed by Jumbos behind them. Over in the center, in the field, we've got the command in the T-28 and 2 units of Easy-8s, unit of T-29s by the radar station. Then we've got another unit of Chaffies with the Jumbos behind them, another unit of Pershings in the woods, and the Jacksons hiding over there on the flank. So we are all set up, and the Americans have won the first turn. So we will see you guys after Americans turn 1. All right, end of American turn 1. The Pershings over there, one of them failed his cross test. The other 2 came out of the trees, and they managed to take out one of these tigers, even though they were camouflaged. Nothing much happened over in the center. The Chaffies took that objective. The center kind of moved up. Over here, the who was it? Was it the Hellcats that took out this Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hellcats over there in the corner took out one of these Panthers, and the other unit of Chaffies moved up and took that objective. So right now the Americans are sitting at 6 points to 0, and we will head over to German turn 1. All right, this is where things sit at the end of German turn 1. So the Tigers here took out one of the Jacksons over there. The King Tigers in the command, they took out one of these Pershings. My Pumas are now contesting this objective over here. My Tiger 1s ran up to claim that objective, though that's not going to be good for them. Two of my Tiger 2s failed their cross test and got stuck in the forest there. Over here, the Panthers took out one of the Chaffies, and my Panzer 470s took out one of the Pershings. So right now, the Germans have 4 points for controlling that objective and contesting that one. The Americans picked up another 4 points for contesting and controlling that objective. So it is 10 to 4 in favor of the Americans. We're going to move over to American turn 2 and see how it goes. All right, that was quite a good turn for the Americans. Over here, they didn't manage to do much on this flank. They did swap out that objective card for dual objective, where they get extra points if they hold that one and another one at the end of the game. Over here, they managed to focus all their firepower and take out my whole squad of Tiger 1s sitting on that objective, so that kind of hurts. Over here, I kind of expected to lose the Pumas. It took most of the firepower over here to do that. And then the Pershings managed to take out one more of these Tigers sitting in the woods. So they're slowly getting dwindled down. So we're going to have to come up with something in German turn 2 to bounce back from this. Right now the Americans are ahead 25 to 4. So we'll see what the Germans can do on their turn 2. All right, so things are starting to bounce back for the Germans in turn 2. The Panthers managed to take out that unit of Chaffies sitting on that objective. Over here, the King Tigers managed to take out that unit of Chaffies over there. We really don't like Chaffies this turn. Over here, the command squad of King Tigers finished off the Pershings. And so we picked up... we took out another unit. Which other unit? The Pershings and the 2 units of Chaffee. So we got 9 points this round by taking out enemy units. What was it? The Tigers tried to finish off the Jacksons over there, but they bounced off, and the Panzer 470s didn't have any luck against the other unit of Pershings. But the Germans are up to 13 points, but the Americans are still clinging on to the objectives. So they are up to 34 to the Germans 13. So the Americans are still in the lead, and we are heading into turn 3. This is where it sits at the end of American turn 3. The Jumbos over there took out one of the Panzer 470s sitting here. The Americans are still holding this objective. The Easy 8s moved from the center to help relieve this flank. Over here, the HQ is still sitting on that objective. The other unit of Easy 8s went over to help this flank out. They tried to, the Jacksons moved up and tried to take out the last of my Tiger Ones, but they bounced off. So, not a whole lot happened in the shooting phase, but the Americans are still holding strong with gathering up another 9 points. So, you're up to 43 now? All right, to the Germans 13. So, we will go to German turn 3 and see how we can respond. Our turn 3 objective was forced retreat, which will make the game one turn shorter. So, but we'll see if that stays there. All right, we are going to German turn 3. All right, we've bounced back a little bit on this one. First thing I did was use the tactics card for burn the orders and got rid of this objective because I knew there was no way I was going to be able to shift all 3 of those units out of there, and especially with this fresh unit of Easy 8s coming in. So now that whole objective got discarded. So now we only have 2 objectives left on the table. The Panzer 470s tried to blitz and failed, so they weren't really hitting all that well. They didn't hit anything at all. The Panthers destroyed 2 of the Easy 8s and then did a successful shoot and scoot back to here. These King Tigers destroyed 2 of those Easy 8s over here. Or no, I'm sorry, they destroyed 3 of those Easy 8s. There was 1 left, and then these King Tigers bailed him out. He then got back in at the end of the turn, but then failed his last stand test. So now that unit is destroyed. And over here, the regular Tiger 1s managed to finally finish off the Jacksons after they successfully blitzed up to the wall. So the Germans picked up another 6 points. We are up to 19 to 46 for the Americans. Things are looking a little bit better for the Germans. Hopefully we can get in there and start taking some of these objectives while it takes the Americans some time to reorganize their forces on this flank. All right, we are going to go on to turn 4. Oh, one last thing before we move on to turn 4. I did get rid of this objective that was going to reduce the game by a turn, and this one now gives whoever holds it at the end of the game an additional 5 points. So that one's worth some extra points. All right, now we're going to move on to American turn 4. Okay, a fast turn 4 for the Americans. The Hellcats bailed out one of these Panzer 470s, but they got back in. The Easy 8s over there bounced some shells off of the Panthers. The rest of this flank is trying to haul it as quick as they can to relieve the other side. Over here, the T-29s bounced some shells off the King Tigers. And that was about it. The Americans pulled up 3 more points for still holding that center objective. And this is where we sit with the Americans comfortably at 29 to the Germans, 49 to the Germans 19. So they're up by 30 points. We can still try to gain up on points or maybe just break their force by the end of the game. So we'll see how that goes. On to German turn 4. All right, things are looking even better for the Germans this time around. The Panzer 470s took out 1 of the Hellcats over here. The Panthers snuck around the corner of this building and took out 1 of those jumbos over there. The Tiger 2s broke through the forest. There's always got to be that one guy that fails his cross test. And we managed to take out the T-28 there, the HQ, picking up 3 points. Over here, we moved in on this objective and failed to hit those jumbos hiding over there. But that picked us up 9 more points that round. Right now, the Americans are sitting at 28 points to 49 for the Americans. So coming back a little bit. American forces are starting to dwindle down, but they do still have those very powerful T-29s over there. So we will see how things are after American turn 5. So at the end of American turn 5, we have the Hellcats managed to destroy 2 of these and bail 1 out. So he failed his remount test, so we'll see what happens to him. Over here, these Easy 8s came around the corner and took out one of the King Tigers. The unit of Jumbos moved up and are now contesting that objective. Over here, the T-29s moved in, but they failed to do anything against the command King Tigers. And these Jumbos over here took out one of the remaining Tigers. The other one was bailed out. He managed to remount and passed his last stand. So that is where we sit. The Americans are up to an even 50, and the Germans have climbed to 32 as we go into German turn 5. Okay, at the end of German turn 5, this guy again failed his remount test at the end of the turn. The Panthers came around the corner here and bailed out one of those Easy 8s, but he remounted. Over here, the Tiger 2s finished off this unit of Jumbos in the center, giving us that objective back. And over here, we bounced some shells off of those Jumbos over there, but nothing else really happened. But we are still in control of 2 objectives, and we took out another unit. So the Germans are up to 41 to the Americans 50 as we get ready to head into American turn 6. So things are thinning out on both sides over here, but the Germans are staying strong in this one. All right, end of turn 6. Americans are holding strong. These Jumbos moved across the wrecks there. Again, the one guy who always fails is stuck behind the wrecks over there. But these guys moved in to contest this objective, took out this last Tiger over here. The T-29s moved up and managed to destroy one of these King Tigers. And they did bail out my commander, but he managed to remount and passed his last stand test. Over here, the Pershings couldn't do anything over here. These Easy 8s tried to put some shells into the side of those King Tigers, but failed. And over here, the Hellcats managed to finish off the Panzer 470s. So right now the Americans are at how many points?
57.
57 to 45 for the Germans, because we're still holding that objective and we're contesting that one. So we are going on to German turn 6 and last turn of the game. Okay, here we are at the end of German turn 6. The Panthers managed to finish off this unit of Easy 8s. Over here, the King Tigers tried to take out the Pershings, only managed to bail one out, but they remounted. And then over here, the commander failed to hit the last 2 of these Jumbos. So the Germans picked up 4 points for objectives this turn. Nobody gets the additional 5 points for that one because nobody controls it. It's just contested. And the Germans picked up another 3 for finishing off this unit over here. So that takes us to a final total of 52 to 58 for the Americans. Only a 6-point difference. Not bad at all. So definitely a fun game. It was nice to have it swing back the other way a little bit. The Germans just couldn't quite catch up, but I don't think it ever got out of control at any point. Anything you want to say?
This is definitely an interesting game. The Americans definitely are a bit of an interesting army. They kind of have numbers similar to the Soviets, as well as some quality tanks, but they're not stuck in like units of 3 like the British.
Yeah, I think that definitely really kind of sets the British back a little bit. But they can have lots of small units, so maybe that's their thing is multiple small units. Because they can still have multiple small units with lots of firepower, with anti-tank 15 and 17 sitting out there.
And the Germans definitely fought well in this game, especially towards the end.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking maybe drop the Panzer 470s and the Pumas for another squad of Tigers or another squad of Panthers. And I think that'll have us sit in a good place. The Panzer 470s, I was just afraid to really put anywhere too difficult because they have a terrible cross check. They didn't do too bad this game. The last time I played with them, they did terrible. But this time they did all right, picking on the Hellcats and the Chaffies over there. But as always, my favorite, the King Tigers just did great. They kind of rolled up and held that center and fended off Shermans and Easy 8s for most of the game. Definitely having fun with Clash of Steel. How about you?
Definitely.
All right. So this is our Clash of Steel game for October. A victory for the Americans. We will probably be back before the end of the month with some fantasy. Hopefully Vampire Counts versus, what are you going to play?
Empire.
Empire. So there we are. We'll have some Halloween spookiness for the end of the month. Thank you all for watching.